Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today is going to be another coronavirus update. What is happening statistically? We're going to review what's happening in China as well as Italy and here. So let's dive in. Again, China is flatlining. Statistically, everything continues to drop down, which is really nice. I mean, here's today's statistics so you guys can see it. I'll make it a little bit bigger here to cover my noggin. All right, cool. So you can see China was at 12 yesterday, 8 today, continuing to drop. I have us all graphed up. Italy's down to 427. They were much higher, I think, in the 470s yesterday. So they're continuing to drop down a little bit. Will they continue to go up? Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, like I talked about earlier, the big risk factors in Italy, a lot of smoking. 99% of people that pass in Italy have comorbidities, right? Heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, those kind of things. So again, keeping your immune system strong is the best thing. No one is talking about that. Even the chloroquine medication not supporting your immune system may have some beneficial effects against some of the symptoms, but not fixing any of the root issues, which is boosting your immune system. Oh, and then with USA, they're down a little bit, 26. I think yesterday was in the mid-40s. I'll show you that graphed out so you can see. And then South Korea popped up a little bit, but overall, their incidence, the disease incident rate is just plummeting there. So that's good. So a lot of good news today, I think, across the board here. I mean, Italy, hopefully they don't pop again. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, so new deaths in the United States. So off the bat here, we had a little drop today, which is good. So, I mean, the question is this the bell curve here? Are we going to start to round this bell curve out here and start the downward cycle? We'll see. I like looking at the daily new deaths. It gives you a lot more valuable information. If you just look at the total death rate per day, of course, it's going to just keep on going up, right? But I like this because I'm looking for that bell curve to round out and start going down. So we'll see a little drop today. Again, I grabbed these stats like an hour or two ago, so it may have gone up a little bit more. Hopefully not. And then you can see, deaths in Italy. So Italy dropped down just a little bit here today. Again, I marked this myself with the new data from today. This is yesterday's graph. They're typically one day behind a lot with the data. So Italy here seems to be dropping a little bit. Will they continue to go up? We'll see. We'll monitor it. I think Italy is about another week or two away from rounding the bell curve. I think we may even be as well. But that's a nice drop from yesterday to today. So we'll have to just continue to watch that. I'm hoping that all the things that we're doing, social distancing, quarantine, all those things are compressing the arch of the curve. And that's what I'm fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. So again, just so you guys can see, right? Here's the curve here that China already has gone through. We're trying to compress that and knock it way low. Let's keep rolling here. So here's China's bell curve, right? China actually only had 8 today, right? They had 12 yesterday, so you can see they are just totally petering out there, which is great. Like to see that about a 2-month, Jan 22 to March 16, so about an 8-week curve on that, which is good. I'm hoping the U.S. follows suit. People that are saying we're going to close stuff down for 6 months, 8 months, that's crazy. We don't have data to support that. We don't. I think once we get through the bell curve and we have momentum going downward, I think everyone that's 60, 65 should probably stay quarantined until the end. But everyone else, I think, could start moving about. We'll see. We'll have to watch the data as it goes down. That's in China. Okay, South Korea. So South Korea is continuing to do well. So new cases in South Korea, they're dropping really drastically. They had a little pop in their bell curve, though. I mean, you can see the trend is generally still going down. Today they were at like here. Where my mouse is. I'm sorry. Let me go back here. They're like here. So they're up a little bit, but the trend is still going down. So we'll have to just keep an eye. I mean, perspective-wise, things are moving in the right direction. So generally speaking, I always want to make sure social distancing, great. My general recommendation, I don't like the fact the economy shut down. If I was the overlord, right, I would be quarantine everyone 60, 65 and up. Maybe 55 if they have comorbidities. Number one, those people are older. Hopefully they're less active in the workforce, so to speak, 65 and up, less active, maybe retired already, so it wouldn't shut down the economy. Quarantine them, social isolate everyone else, anyone else that can work from home, and then everyone else just use good hygiene practices. I hate seeing the economy go down, but it will boom right back up. Basically, everyone's on furlough. No one's really lost their jobs yet. They'll all come back. In general, new medication, not a new medication, malaria medication, chloroquine, is now being recommended to reduce some of the symptoms of the virus. interesting. Chloroquine's a drug that's used for malaria, which is like a bloodborne parasite. And chloroquine actually, it works with inhibiting folate, which then decreases DNA or RNA replication. Now, it's going to decrease folate synthesis. So I don't love that. There's a lot of side effects. If you go look on, for instance, WebMD or rxdrugs.com on the side effects of chloroquine, a lot of them are like flu-like symptoms. So I'm hoping we don't have this self-fulfilling cycle. We take chloroquine, and then a lot of the symptoms get worse that we think is the coronavirus, but it's really the side effects of the chloroquine. So I get a little bit concerned about that. I don't like the fact that it's decreasing folate synthesis and folate activity, especially if you have an MTHFR, which is a methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase enzyme SNP issue, that could impair that even more. So I like more talk on things that are actually going to be boosting and enhancing the immune system, like vitamin A. And again, why are elderly affected? Well, elderly don't have really good redox potentiation. Redox is like glutathione and vitamin C and superoxide aspartate. These help with the inflammation in the lungs. So having good redox pathways really help calm down inflammation in the lungs. Vitamin A helps with the lung epithelium. So cod liver oil. Zinc is going to be amazing for immune function. Natural herbs like elderberry help with the neuraminidase pathway, and they inhibit that, which is similar to how Tamiflu works. Astragalus, a lot of these things upregulate the immune response. So I like talking about things that are going to really upregulate physiology, enhance immune function, make our cell membranes better, help deal with inflammation better, versus just give a drug that may knock down the virus, may control some of the symptoms, but may also provide more side effects that mimic the actual disease. So we have to keep an eye on that. I'm still open. If it works and saves lives, great. But just know that there are a lot of side effects on there. Chloroquine, go to WebMD or rxlist.com. Look at the side effects. They mirror a lot of what the coronavirus could potentiate. Do all the good things, social distancing, quarantine, especially if you're older, hydration, vitamin C to bowel tolerance. I did a whole podcast where we go into this for 30 to 45 minutes on all the natural things you can do. So I won't repeat that here in depth, just kind of give you the cursory overview. And you can go back and take a look at that podcast. We'll put the links down here below. Oh, a couple things. Let's keep it all in perspective, right? I know people hate going back to the flu because it takes them out of their hysteria mindset. Hysteria, not good. Why? Shuts down the frontal cortex, activate the sympathetic nervous system response, surges cortisol, which will inhibit your immune function. All right? Be concerned, make smart decisions, strategize, right? Do all the things I'm telling you. You'll give yourself the best chance to be in amazing shape. Remember, 99% of people that died in Italy had a comorbidity. All right, keep that in the back of your head. A couple things here. So in general, if we go to influenza deaths by week, check this out, okay? So the average week in the winter months, so we can just pick here, about 375 people die a week of influenza just during this season. And this is actually a lighter season, 2020. So you can see 2019, 2018, we had a huge one. Where were people crying about all the mortality in 2018? I don't remember that, right? Really big. And this comes right from the CDC stats. So 300 to 400 people dying a week of influenza. Now let's go back. Where are we at with deaths per week here? Well, United States, I think we're at about 150. Where are we at here? See here, United States. So we're at total 176. So the amount of people that would pass in 3 to 3.5 days of the flu is what we've had past the last month dealing with corona. So we not minimizing, if that's your mom or dad that passed away, not want to minimize any of that, but it's just to get you in perspective. The perspective should calm you down a little bit, not quite as bad as you think it is, all right? Just trying to get that perspective. Also, the testing's pretty bad, guys. Here's an article on the testing. Potential false positive rates, they are over 50 to 80% false positive. Nearly half or even more of the asymptomatic individuals reported the anti-nucleic acid testing may be false positive. Why is that important? You will see the incidence go up like crazy. It will skyrocket. Expect that. That's because the testing is coming online, and just know the false positive rate on it is insane. So I expect this. Don't freak out. Keep your mind's eye on the deaths and keep your mind's eye on the recovery rate. That's what you want to be seeing. Recovery, and then look at deaths daily. And you want to trace it out like a bell curve. The bell curve is going to give you the best window of where we're at in this whole disease progression, right? Here's South Korea on daily new cases. Again, here's China. So this is the bell curve I want you guys looking at. Here's Italy. Here's us. Now, could we be winding up and going up a little bit higher? Yeah, it's very possible we could be going up a little bit higher here the next week or two. Maybe we're dropping out, so keep doing all the right things to keep this bell curve apex compressed. Very, very important, y'all. Excellent. And then in general, like I mentioned, light's going to be a big thing. So if you're in warmer climates, excellent. Do you know over 1/3 to 2/5 of all the deaths are in the Washington state area? And most of that, another 80% of them are all from this one nursing home. So again, all right, you take that out of there. It's a big, big component. So do all the things that I mentioned so far. Vitamin C, bowel tolerance, vitamin A, cod liver oil is an excellent source. Vitamin D, up 10, 20,000 IUs per day. You want to add some supplemental zinc. 20 to 50 milligrams a day is great. You could do a picolinate or a bisglycinate form is wonderful. The different herbs that I've mentioned here. I have an article on what to do when you get sick, how to boost your immune system. We'll put that link down below so you guys can see that. All right, we're live. So any questions here, feel free and chime in, y'all. What is happening? Try to keep all the questions, if you can, to the coronavirus. All right. Where did you get the data on the Italy comorbidity? It was front page of Bloomberg today. Go to Bloomberg, type in Italy, coronavirus, comorbidity, 99% was comorbidity. Would you take a vaccine when developed? I would not. And the vaccine will be moot. It will be coming out in a year. Is this coronavirus going to be a seasonal thing? Well, was SARS seasonal? No. Was MERS seasonal? No. Was swine flu seasonal? No. So, no. So, and again, even like, let's say you're a big fan of the flu virus. Guess what? The flu vaccine is wrong 80% of the time. They can't quite get it right, 80% incorrect. So flip a coin, or even less than that, right? So I'm more about boosting my immune system and enhancing my physiology so I can deal with the infections better. Okay, if I was diagnosed with mono 6 weeks ago, does this mean my chances of coronavirus is higher? Yeah, it definitely is. Make sure you're doing everything that I mentioned to the fullest. Got Jim in France, how to boost my immune system and prevent contamination. Well, of course, social distancing, quarantine. If you have a weaker immune system, just quarantine. But what I'm doing, like, I Instacart my groceries, okay? I'm loading up on vitamin C during the day. I have my immune stack on my desk. I have my immune stack upstairs so I don't have to move around my office or my home to get what I need. I'm drinking clean filtered water. This is my buddy here, Topo Chico. Love that all day long. And then, of course, keeping the carbohydrates down, lots of bone broth, lots of collagen peptides, vitamin C. I'm hitting up NAC 2 grams a day. I'm doing about 500 to 700 milligrams a day of astragalus. I'm doing my Immunosupreme immune blend support. I'm doing 2 tablespoons of cod liver oil a day. That's probably about it. Unemployment is skyrocketing. Yeah, people are just it's a furlough. It's all going to come back, right? It's all going to come back. People can't produce their products because there's all these nationwide orders and, the quarantine and the social distancing. Once that's out, once that's done, the economy will just roar back. Even after quarantines and deaths fall off, there's no herd immunity still. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a seasonal thing, right? I gave the example of SARS and MERS. It may not be seasonal, right? It may be something that just is a one and done, and hopefully that's the case. So work on boosting your immune system so you don't need herd immunity, right? Pandemic will have a second wave? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, did SARS and MERS have second waves? I don't know. I don't think so. All of my coworkers are getting sick because there haven't been any tests available, and I woke up this morning with cold-like symptoms. However, that happens to me whenever the season changes, so I don't know. Yeah, guys, the test is useless. The test may be helpful for CDC officials to chart out and figure out where the hotspots are and to allocate resources, right? I get that from a macro perspective. But number two is the test is wrong 50 to 80% of the time. So how the heck does that help you? I mean, I do better flipping a coin. So I get it, like administrative-wise, macro-wise, doesn't help. Number three, if you have the symptoms, just pretend like you have it and do all the things that you would do, and that way you're good, right? Testing is beneficial if it's accurate, and you got idiots doing stupid things, and the test kind of smacks them across the face and wakes them up, right? But just be a little more mature. Just know, hey, just treat yourself if you have it, if you have the symptoms, and that way you're good as gold. All right, should I take vitamin C with or without food? It depends. If it's buffered vitamin C, you'd probably be fine to do it without food. If it's not buffered, you may have a little bit of stomach upset, so you may want to do it with food, okay? Are you extra exposed to corona when you have SIBO and low adrenals? Yeah, your immune system could definitely be weaker for sure. So you'd want to make sure you're doing all these things I'm mentioning. Does having psoriasis affect the chances of getting coronavirus? Well, yeah, if it's an autoimmune condition and it's serious, it's not controlled, that your immune system could definitely be weaker from it, for sure. The higher your autoimmune, it depends. If you have a lot of Th2 dominant immune response, your Th1 natural killer cells, which are the first line of defense for your immune system, could be weaker. Some autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's are actually Th1 dominant, so it depends. What do you think about quercetin and bromelain? Yeah, quercetin has had some research behind it in improving glutathione, which is going to help with lung inflammation, which is the major area that the flu is going to come in and attack. Quercetin's also helped to modulate a couple other immune pathways that I've seen as well that are going to help with the immune system and that will help provide extra boosting from the coronavirus. The glutathione you suggest for nebulizers on back order. What other brands of glutathione and silver can I use to breathe? So you could do, in my line, we use GI Clear 3, which is a nanoparticle nano silver that's 15 ppm or less. That's a good one. You could do Sovereign Silver at Whole Foods if you can get your hands on it. And then regarding glutathione, I don't know any other glutathione besides that. I'm sorry. Is vitamin C good for sleep or is it too stimulating? It depends. It definitely helps nourish and support the adrenals. I take mine before bed, and in the morning I have no problem, but it just depends where you're at. Try it out. Chloroquine can be used to prevent from getting corona. I'm not sure about the prevention. It seems like it's more of a treatment. Again, it's not enhancing or boosting your immune system. That's the problem. That's why I don't love it. Now, if it's getting results and saving lives, fine, right? Uncle, let's do it. But it's not upregulating and enhancing the immune system. And it has negative impacts on reducing DNA activity or RNA activity via the folate nutrient. And so that's a really important nutrient for DNA replication. And by inhibiting it or decreasing the activity, we're decreasing the viral replication, essentially. Dr. J, thanks for all the info. Would you recommend doing coffee enemas at this time, or would that be too hard on the body? I would hold off on doing extra detoxification, but if you feel well with it and you do go with it, or you have other cancer or toxicity issues that require it, fine. But if not, I would hold off on it. Okay, excellent. Very good. Any questions here? Oldest person in China, they got the coronavirus is 103, and she got well within a week. Our immune system can handle it. Yep, I totally agree. That makes sense. I saw someone that was 100 that got over it too. What's a good starting dose of vitamin C? Start at a gram or two. Go up to bowel tolerance, which is when your stools start to get loose, and then back off 1 to 2 grams until your stool solidifies, and that's your daily dose. Trying to clear phlegm-filled cough coming from the post-nasal, doing nasal rinse, anything else you suggest? Yeah, nasal rinse, use the Neti X-Clear solution with the xylitol and the minerals. The xylitol will clear out some of the bacteria and fungus that could be up there. Any thoughts on boron supplementation? Boron I typically use to decrease sex hormone binding globulin. I don't use it for anything on the immune wise. But if there's a study on there and you wanted to throw it in there, I have no problem with it. Will vitamin D help prevent corona? It will help upregulate your immune system, and a stronger immune system is the best defense against any kind of infection. So there is no magic bullet or magic pill, but vitamin D will help keep your immune system strong. It helps modulate the T regulatory cells, which keep your Th1 and Th2 immune system strong. Excellent. All right, any other questions, y'all? Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back tomorrow for another live update. You guys stay well, stay healthy, and do the right thing. We'll talk soon. Bye now.